everyone, in this video I'll show you guys how to make a Mosin Nagant that shoots rubber bands, of course. I'm gonna show you not exactly how to cut the wood and stuff, but really how to assemble it. And I will also put the templates in the description below. Okay, so the system assembly is very simple. So first off, you'll want to put your trigger over here. And you will also want to make the trigger have a hole inside it that's big enough to allow it to spin freely in the snail. As for the sear over here, that's what I'm going to call it. It's going to have the same thickness as the trigger, and you're going to want to make sure that you're able to do this with it. And then you're going to attach a rubber band with it, a very small rubber band, and attach it to this piece above. Now the piece above, you're just gonna want to chip away 2 small pieces from the sides of it. I know it's not the prettiest way to do it, but it does work. For the rope, make sure that it's kind of thin, but not too thin, so that the rubber bands are not stretched that much. And make sure that it can hit this, and that when you pull the trigger, it can freely spin around, which I'm not really able to show. But you can see that the sear allows the rotor to spin. Then here is the bolt. Now the bolt, it's pretty simple. The way that I made this, it's not really the best way to do it. I basically just took a very thick dowel and then just plopped it on like that on thinner dowel, which I put into the bolt. And then with this part over here, it's a smaller piece. Now what this does is that once it goes over here, it will stop the bolt from going any further back, meaning that you cannot pull it out. Of course, now what I did is that I made it squeeze in instead of glue in, so that you can easily disassemble it and take it out if there's a problem. Like simply pluck it out. It does take it's a bit annoying sometimes, but all it means that it's bolted in well, and that's going to be more secure. But it does come off, and then you can easily take the bolt out if you need to fix something for whatever reason. And then to put it back in, you simply plop it in. Now just to mention, I have done this to it so that it can be used a bit like a sight, like an iron sight, or really a wooden sight at this point. And just push it in. And then, once that's done, you've basically assembled and reassembled the bolt. Now, when you pull the trigger, the rotor is free to spin. So, once it does spin, which I'm just gonna do it like this, it will hit the bolt on the edge over here. Now, when you spin the bolt, it will already have put the rotor like this, ready to fire the next one, but you can always do this if you want to be fancy. Now the rotor will hit the trigger again, and you're able to fire the next shot. Lastly, this is not in the template, so I'm just going to show you. These plates over here should be very thin, about 3 millimeters thick, so that the bolt handle can go through them, and also so that they do stop the bolt from coming out of it. But yeah. Alright, to load it, you first pull the bolt back. You have to do this, and then what you do is you take a rubber band and stretch it from the front side, and you pull it back and hook it onto the rotor. Now of course you can put multiple shots, so spin the rotor back 45 degrees like this. 90 degrees, by the way. Oops. And then you can load in the next one. I'm gonna load 4. To fire it, remember to have the bolt in like this, or else it's gonna fire all of the rubber bands at the same time. Now, let's fire. Then, like this. Like that. So much for watching, and I'll see you guys on my next video when I will show you how to make a Remington rolling block rifle that shoots rubber bands. And I'll see you next time. Bye.